Sometimes the monster doesn't show up in the dark. Sometimes he walks Main Street in broad daylight and everyone sees him coming. In Skidmore, Missouri, everyone knows his name, and one summer afternoon, they decide to do something about it. In 1981, Skidmore, Missouri has a population of about 400 people. It's a quiet farm town in the northwest corner of the state. It's a tiny place on the map and not too many people outside of it pay it too much mind. Ken Rex McElroy changes that. He's 47, heavy-set, and known for trouble. He grows up poor and learns early that fear is a currency, and man, does he spend it. Over the years, he's accused of all kinds of bad things. Cattle rustling, arson, theft, assault, worse. He's indicted 24 times, and he's convicted 0 times. He has a reputation that makes people think twice about testifying against him. Every case falls apart when witnesses suddenly change their stories. People say that when McElroy stares at you, you can feel it in your back. He carries a rifle and a shotgun in his truck and has the vibe that he can use it at any time. In Skidmore, everyone has a story about McElroy. Pet and livestock killed. A farmer whose fence was cut after he complained about Ken. A shop owner who sees him drive slowly past his house every night for a week after an argument. The local sheriff calls him a bully who knows how to work the system, and for years, that's exactly what he does. The town learns that when McElroy wants something, it's safer just to give it to him. That's how bullies work, that's how they thrive. The law can't stop him, won't stop him, and everyone in Skidmore knows it. But pretty soon, they're going to decide to do something about it. In 1980, McElroy's daughter is caught stealing candy from the local grocery owned by Ernest and Lois Bowenkamp. Ernest tells her to put it back, she tells her father Ken McElroy about it, and a week later, McElroy shows up at the store, cursing and threatening them over the incident. The police come, but as usual, McElroy walks. Months pass, but Ken McElroy just can't let it drop. On July 8th, McElroy confronts Ernest again outside his store. Ken lifts a shotgun and fires. The pellets tear into Ernest's neck, but somehow, though, he survives. For the first time, there's a charge against Ken that might actually stick. He's arrested, tried, and convicted of assault in 1981. The sentence? 2 years in prison. He tells the judge he's going to appeal. The judge sets bond. Ken pays the bond, and within hours, he's back in Skidmore and pissed off. McElroy picks up where he left off and parks his pickup outside the Bowenkamp store. His rifle is visible in the rear window of his truck. He sits there, staring into the store, and then he comes back again and again, sometimes sitting there for hours. Ernest and Lois draw the curtains, call the sheriff, but there's nothing that the sheriff can do. McElroy isn't breaking any laws just by parking there and sitting. The people of Skidmore watch from their windows, wondering how long it is before he shoots again. He drives through the town like he owns it in his loud-ass truck, and when he walks into a bar, others walk out. By the 4th of July, word is spreading. Something is building here, and it's getting ready to pop. Mothers keep their kids inside. Farmers start carrying around rifles in their trucks. Nobody wants to say the obvious out loud, that the law is afraid of McElroy too, and the fear that the law has is about to come with consequences. July 10th, 1981 is the day that Skidmore, Missouri stops looking away and decides to do something about Ken McElroy. The morning starts hot and humid and still. By noon, word moves through town. McElroy is at the D&G Tavern. He was spotted earlier armed with a rifle. Across the street, a meeting starts at the Legion Hall. It's full of the town's farmers, merchants, mothers, teenagers, all there to decide how to solve their McElroy problem. The sheriff shows up and suggests that they form a neighborhood watch, and then he leaves to go check on another call that came in. The crowd stays behind, and the meeting continues. They talk about the years of fear, about police who can't help, about children who jump at the sound of Ken's truck. Finally, someone asks, what happens if he wins his appeal? No one answers at first. And then, people start weighing in. Some want to wait for the courts. Others say they've waited long enough. The meeting reaches a consensus. If the law won't stop him, we will. A line is reached and then crossed. 40 people leave the Legion Hall and walk down the street to the D&G Tavern. Witnesses remember it being a quiet procession, just footsteps and the sound of gravel. The afternoon light is bright enough to wash the color out of the buildings. A dog briefly barks and then stops. Someone shuts off a tractor in the distance. This is what people who were there that day remember. The group moves as one long shadow down Main Street, surrendering to the momentum they've built. There's not really a plan, just confront the bully, stop him somehow. When the people reach the tavern, the door is open, and the cool air from inside smells like beer and metal. The street falls silent. Inside the tavern, McElroy is sitting at the bar with his wife. He orders drinks, talks about his appeal. He's generally having a good time. While outside, the people wait. After a while, McElroy pays, stands up, and walks out into the afternoon heat with his wife. To his surprise, the street is lined with faces, men, women, and teenagers. No one moves, except for the McElroys. They get into Ken's truck. He turns the key. The engine starts. Still, no one confronts him. He's going to get away with it again. Witnesses disagree on what happens next. Some hear a voice yell, "Let's shoot the son of a bitch." Others hear nothing at all. Then, gunfire breaks the quiet as shots are fired. 2 bullets hit Ken. The truck jerks and rolls into a parked car. McElroy's wife screams for help. Someone pulls her away. In the cab of the truck, McElroy doesn't move. He's dead. As the realization hits, chaos erupts, the sound of it echoing off the nearby grain bins. Slowly, though, order comes back. The first patrol car arrives, its siren cutting through and drowning out everything. The crowd turns quiet and docile. Some stand on the sidewalk with hands over their ears, protecting themselves against the noise. Officers move slowly forward, stunned by the calm. There's no obvious weapon, no obvious shooters, just a town standing still, staring at what it's done. A man everyone feared is dead, shot in broad daylight. And the town says it saw nothing. Homicide. It's the type of investigation that doesn't happen often in rural northwest Missouri. For law enforcement, it's all hands on deck. At least 2 different guns are fired in the killing, a .22 caliber and a .30 caliber, and that means there are at least 2 shooters. Officers go door to door and ask the same questions again and again. Who stood where? Who said what? Who fired? The answers are always the same. I didn't see. I just heard the shots but don't know who did it. I was inside. I know nothing. Grand juries meet, but no indictments ever come. State authorities interview dozens of witnesses. Federal agents visit too. The record shows hours of statements, but none of them name a shooter with enough evidence or credibility to bring anyone to court. Ken McElroy's wife identifies the men she believes were involved, but it's just her suspicions. She never sees the guns or anyone pulling triggers. Authorities facing this wall of silence are just stuck, so no one ever faces criminal charges for the killing of Ken Rex McElroy. National media arrives. Reporters walk Main Street. Locals close ranks. They don't want to talk. Those who do only say, "We were tired of being scared." Years later, people still argue about what actually happened that day. How many shooters were there? Was this planned or did it just happen? Did the meeting beforehand decide anything? The record doesn't answer any of these questions. The street was full, 40 people, and the town just stood there while a man was shot multiple times. And nobody will say a thing about what they might know. Decades later, this is still an unsolved homicide, and the answer lies somewhere in the silence. People were all over the street. Someone knows. Someone saw. Maybe everybody knows. Maybe everybody saw. People still debate whether this is tragedy, justice, or maybe both. But everyone in Skidmore, including law enforcement, will always remember what can happen when a town decides to stop being afraid. If you like this story, please share it, and for more, follow me.